Alright, what's up everybody? This is going to be my tier list on the Sekiro bosses. I'm going to try and do all the From Software games and then rank all the bosses for each game. But we can't have this tier list without an ad with an ass on it. So, shout out to Ox Jocks. Shout out to them, or Aox Jocks. However you say that name, shout out to them for having those high-waisted workout shorts on screen. It's really cool. All right, let's get started. So as you see, these are the tiers. You get the perfect bosses, who are just like the crisp, you know what I mean? Then you got the gold standard, like that's what the lowest bar you should have for a boss is gold tier, so you can try and reach the perfect level. Then you got the, it's like you ain't good, but at least you ain't bad. You know what I mean? And then you got the dog shit, which is like, come on, bro. Y'all know damn well y'all could have done way better than that. And then you got the I have something against you, where it's like I want to physically exact my anger on whoever made the boss. So let's go ahead and get started. We're immediately starting off with something I have against you. So let me just go ahead and paint a picture real quick, all right? So in this boss fight, there's an attack where he throws poison on the ground. You feel me? He throws the poison on the ground, and I hate this attack because the poison just lasts and stays there for a long time. And so what had happened was, I think it's 2 phases that he has. Anyways, I'm struggling on the first phase, still trying to learn it. Eventually, I get to his second phase, right? And I'm like, whoo! And you know what? On the second phase, I'm doing pretty good, I'm actually doing some work. And so the messed up part is, eventually it gets down to a part where I have half health, right? His posture's up a lot. His health is almost done, but I have no more gourds left. And previously, he had done that attack where he threw the poison on the ground, and I'm like, okay, let me get away from that poison. But that man bum rushed my cheeks, you feel me? And he did some shit, and I missed a counter, and instead it blocked, right? And it was one of those attacks where it's like, if you block it, you get staggered, and then you have to, stand back up. And he hit me into the poison, you feel me? Where I was staggered, and I was like, my cheeks! Don't hit me. And I get poisoned, and so I'm like, right? So now I'm on a time limit, and so I'm fighting this man, and I'm fighting him, and I think y'all know where this is going. The first time I got to his second phase, I beat him. I actually beat him. But this is the shit that was happening, right? In his second phase, let me just get up real quick and show y'all. Alright, this is what he does, this attack where he just slams the ground, right? And then the dust flows up. And so I hadn't experienced the second phase much, so I thought if he hits that, right, and you don't dodge, he gets a guaranteed attack. So what I had been doing was I had been dodging when he hits the ground and then just running away because I can't target him when he's in that little smoke area. So I was attacking him a whole bunch and trying to time it, dodge right before he just... Well, that last slice I did finished him, and so I just had to stab him. You know what I'm saying? It got rid of his posture, but I had dodged because I was like, I don't want to get hit, right? And I was like, shit, let me go hit him real quick so I can finish this fight. And I was excited because it was the first time I got to his second phase, my man. I went over there. My boy Sekiro said, yeah, instead of doing the, you know what I'm saying, the finishing posture. And I was like, oh shit, right? And I was like, okay, let me just press it again. Man, I died right there. I died! And you know what? I'm really angry about it still. I actually hate that. So whoever made that poison thing, I just want you to get lupus. I hate you. Alright, we got True Monk immediately right back in the bottom tier. Let me just tell you this story, okay? I hate True Monk so much. I hate him so much. Because it's like let me just give you a painted picture. Corrupted Monk, gold standard, right? Gold standard. It's basically the same thing, you feel me? It's basically the same thing. He has two stocks, which feels fair. His attacks, nothing's like absurd or anything. You gotta jump, you gotta dodge, you gotta counter a whole bunch. He has good range. It's a good boss, you feel me? It's just not like perfect, you know. It didn't give me that sense of perfect, but it's a good boss. By the way, I'm gonna be huffing and puffing because I got actions I gotta sell. But then you get to this one, he has three stocks, which just feels dumb to me. But more than that, he also has a different attack than this guy, where he just, you know, you could be mossing him, and then all of a sudden this dude goes like, and then just slices you. It has an infinite speed on it. It's the speed of light, and I hated that attack because it got me so much. But also, when you take his first stock, in the second stock, he just spawns shadows to come attack you. I swear to God that thing is bugged. I swear to God. Because sometimes it's supposed to spawn one shadow, then two shadow, then three shadow, and they all do their own attack. Sometimes this man would spawn multiple shadows at once, and in the beginning I would try and counter the shadows because I'm like, they're just doing one attack, you know? I can counter this. My man, there was a time where I countered one of them, but it made me like, you know, like slide back, and then another one came in from the top rope like, and then slapped my ass down to the ground. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. That's one of my biggest issues, but my single biggest issue is that like 30% of the time when I was fighting this boss, either I died because a branch was in my POV covering my effing screen, so I couldn't see what attack he was doing and to get a free shot off, or I'd be like jumping over some of his attacks that I would use on the ground, and I would jump off the bridge. So I hate that. I hate him. Take the map, put him in an arena, stop making it a bridge with branches covering it, okay? Remove that. Remove that shadow ability. Put him back down to two stocks. I think we got a gold standard right here, alright? Divine Dragon. I hated it, alright? I really did. It wasn't like I had something against it, but I went into that fight not understanding what to do. I left that fight still not understanding what to do. It is beyond me why the first part of that fight exists, though, where there's just like the little dragon trees that come up with their flutes. And they got the recorders, and all of a sudden they're also like, they got the flu. And they're just like... You know, that was really whack to me, because it was basically Deacons of the Deep from Dark Souls 3, but worse, and it was just a time waster. It was like 5 minutes down the drain each time you had to start this fight. Then you get to the actual dragon part, and I didn't know what to do for a good minute. Then I figured it out. Well, not all the way. I just knew you had to jump on a tree that had some glowing lightning about to hit or something like that. The thing I have with this is sometimes I'd go get the dragon, and then not the dragon. Sometimes I'd go up and get the thunder, and sometimes I would catch it and throw it on him. Sometimes right when I catch the thunder, the dragon says, "You know what? Nah, I don't like that," and gets a sword and just like, and then, you know, slaps my cheeks back down to the ground and humbles me. And then sometimes I guess God said, "You know that lightning you're about to catch? You got butterfingers," and then just zaps me with lightning, and I'm done, you know. So that wasn't a huge fan. And then, you know, there's the second part where you're fighting the dragon, where he gets like one good chance to finish you off before you kill him. And it comes into it. What happens is he kind of just goes like, you know, Voldemort style in Order of the Phoenix when he's fighting Dumbledore, and he just goes, and then, you know, I don't know if you were supposed to counter all that stuff. I don't. But what happened was I barely survived it, and was like, what do I do there? You know, in case I died, what would I do there? But I didn't have to worry about that because I finished him off right after that. But anyways, yeah, you're staying there. Alright. Owl Father. I looked up the bosses in this game, and I saw he existed, and when I got to that part, I looked up where he was. And I think it was in the Hirata estate, Hinata from Naruto estate. I don't really remember the name. It's where Lady Butterfly was, and I went there and he wasn't there, so I guess it must have been like a side quest I didn't need to complete that I didn't, so I can't really rank him. Demon of Hatred, I think most people was gonna say like this is a really good boss, gold standard or perfect. I have a hot take. It's dog shit. I want to get this out of the way though. It's because it's in this game. I want to really just I'm gonna go in deep with this because if this boss were in any of the other From Software games, it'd be really good. The issue is this boss was made for a game where the best defense you have is the rolling and getting the the invincibility frames from rolling, which Sekiro's dodging mechanic has a lot less invincibility frames because this game's supposed to be more focused on counters. And this whole boss, the idea is all that countering stuff, throw it out the window. You're just gonna fight this thing. You have to kill it through health, which I loved the idea. But it was poorly executed because this was definitely made for the standard invincibility frames for a dodge, and you did not have that. So, and you could see it really well when it comes to whenever he has an attack with his right foot, and it stomps. The dodging, it has to be very, very precise, way too precise to get multiple times back to back to back. And so basically, the only way I beat him was he threw out a move that required his right leg a lot less the time that I beat him than any other time that I had faced him. That's the only way I beat him, is basically luck. So I'm not a huge fan of this one. If they tweaked it a little bit, he would have been right here for me. But yeah, they just didn't. Because what happened was I know they got the best boss designer from previous games like Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne, and they said, all right, make something for this one. And he said, well, what if I make one that doesn't require the posture thing, but it's exactly like other games, so they have to adapt. And they were all like, that's a good idea, but he didn't tweak it, which he needed to do. So yeah, that's where he is. Genichiro, Way of the Tsutomu, I think is going to be the first. Yeah. It's, let's see, I have to get the original Genichiro right here because they're basically the same thing. You go against him first, and he's really good. He's so good that he makes you have to change your play style, which I really, really liked, is that you kind of have to play differently in order to beat him. I love that type of stuff. I love how it gets hard because you have to change the way you fight. I adored that. The only reason he is not imperfect is because there's one attack where he does a little thrust on the ground, and then he'll usually charge up something that's I think it's called a perilous attack, and he just goes, Hallelujah! And I swear to God, the timing on that was screwed up. I swear to God. And so I would usually either get hit or dodge it. I always used what I felt like was the same timing for my dodge. Sometimes I would successfully dodge, sometimes I get hit. So that was BS. And also, anytime he just jumped back and shoot an arrow, that was free damage for him, and I felt like that was super stupid and super pussy for them to add that. So yeah, that's why he's not in perfect. That's why he's in gold standard. This Genichiro that you face at the end of the game is basically exactly like this one, but worse. And he only has one stock where this one has two stocks. So yeah, he's right there. Yes, the final boss, Ishin the Sword Saint. I'm going to put him in gold standard. I'm not putting him in perfect for one clear reason, and it's because you had to fight Genichiro right before you fought him. So so basically, this boss became way more tedious to get to and to learn because of him, and I have to include both of these. So yeah, if you were just taking this boss alone, and you didn't have to fight this Genichiro, I would perhaps put him right here. Um, yeah, but so I want to go through this real quick just to explain myself more. It's like fighting him was really easy, but at the same time, if you did mess up and you got hit, you're dead. Like you're just straight up dead. And for this guy's first phase, Ishins, same thing. Like I just straight up went to him, and it was like we was dancing the tango together. I was attacking, then he'd attack, and I'd counter, attack, counter, attack. It was a nice flow. But again, if I did mess up, I was dead. And then getting to his second part, he put out a spear, and I didn't go against a lot of spear enemies in this game. So that was incredibly difficult for me to learn because all of his attacks were just like a bit off. If you were just watching him, it'd be like a half a second off. So learning that was a bit difficult, and it was made even more difficult because you have to get through him and then the first phase of him, and then get to the third one, and then there's a fourth one after that. So that's why I have to put him in gold standard, not perfect, is because it just got way too tedious to get to his third phase to try and learn it. Yeah, I didn't face any of the inners, so I can't rank those. Gyobu, the demon. Yeah, he's all right. There's nothing to say about him really. He was on a horse and he ran away, but he would come back and try and hit you. I mean, yeah, there's just nothing to say about him. He was pretty meh. Same thing with Lady Butterfly. She was neat to a degree, but it was like, especially when she summoned all those little minions to fight for her. That was also really dumb, in my opinion. So these two bosses kind of just boiled down to, you alright. Folding screen monkeys, dog shit. I loved how they did something different, but I guess perhaps maybe I was dumb, and so it took me a lot longer to figure this out than others, I would assume. It took me like 40 minutes to be able to beat this boss. I'm not gonna lie. It took real long. I even read up because I was like really confused I even read this boss, and it was like there's one that spawns right behind you, and I got that one immediately, and then there was a 3 left, and I could not. I was especially that freaking the one that has good the eyesight. I think it was the purple one. My man, the peripheral vision on that monkey was astounding. He would be looking over here, right? I pop up right here. I'm like, I'm gonna get you, and he'd be like, and then do his little monkey sound like, and then everybody would disperse. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it because I was bad. I'm gonna just say that. Guardian Ape. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. Gold standard. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Gold standard. I loved this guy. Loved him. His first thing where he's pooping and farting all over the place, huge fan of it. His wild attacks, huge fan of it. It made you have to fight a bit different because you had to dodge some stuff, but at the same time you could still counter some stuff. I loved that. And then his second phase was super, super easy. You just had to get there and just not mess up. And I don't know why, but I'm a huge fan of having the first phase be super hard and the second phase be easy. I'm actually kind of a fan of that. It's nice because it's like, all right, I have something to look forward to the end of this boss fight. I don't think you would make a good like in-game boss fight, but for like mid-game, I did like it. I just want to say that. And then Headless Ape, this is I think the last person I'm gonna have, and I have something against you. I don't know if you can hear that outside. I think someone's mowing the lawn right now. But Headless Ape, I thought I would like it because it's 2 of these guys. But that's just not how it went down. Whoever made this, I want you to go to an orphanage because you can't produce your own children. And what I want to happen is I want all those orphans to just have a heart attack at the same time. And you have to watch it happen. And then all of a sudden you get out of there and you blame yourself that all those orphans died of a heart attack. You just think it's your fault. And then you just live in depression for the rest of your life. That's what I want to happen to the creator of this Headless Ape boss. There's no reason that you created... There's no reason you should have created 2 of the Guardian Apes at the same time, and they both come to attack you at every single moment of this boss fight. I hate it. It's dumb. I hate you. It pissed me off a lot. This is okay. So I want to go more into depth. This is the first time I actually didn't care about completing a From Software game. First time. I played Dark Souls 3. I played Elden Ring, but this right here, this boss, it almost made me quit the game because I just did not care anymore. I looked up how to beat it, and it said, yeah, you just got to get this prosthetic tool. It'll make it super easy. Of course, I didn't get the prosthetic tool because I'm just like lazy. But yeah, I absolutely hated this so much, and I seriously did debate whether I should just like stop playing this game because of this character. Yeah, Emma, the Gentle Blade, you alright. I went into this boss fight not knowing it was a boss fight. I got whooped by her many, many times. Left the boss fight still wondering where the boss fight was. It was hard to explain. She just didn't feel like a boss fight. She just felt like a hard enemy. It wasn't like it just didn't feel like it. So I guess UI. And our only perfect in this game, Ishin Ashina, ladies and gentlemen. There are things that I love about playing hard games, and it's when it makes you play differently. It's what I experienced with Genichiro. It's what I experienced with Ishin. Back to back. This was my favorite part of the game. Was back to back. This boss and this boss. Ladies and I gotta get a tool to show y'all what happened real quick. This is going to be my sword for this part of the video. This is what I use to, I don't even know what that's called, if I'm being completely honest. Anyways, I went into this boss fight thinking, you know what? I'm going to slap this old man around. I went in there like, yeah, yeah, right? And then, of course, he did this thing where it goes like this. Yeah, 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 real quick like. And he fucked me, like straight up. Inserted into my asshole, no consent. I was demolished by that man. Then the second time I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go in a bit more light. So I let him attack a few times. I was like, counter. And then I was like, yeah, attacked. And he immediately went, hoo-yah, hoo-yah, and then immediately killed me. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to attack this dude. I'm not even. When I tell you, I just went like this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah! Every single attack he threw, nothing landed on me for those 2 stocks that he had. Nothing landed on me. I countered every single move he did, and then I got all postures just from counter. I was so happy. I was so ecstatic. I left that fight feeling like a god. It was amazing. I'm really out of breath right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not athletic enough to do multiple demonstrations in a video. I'm sweating. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm like big boy sweating. Let me show y'all. Some toilet paper. Now the toilet paper's wet. Big sweat. These headless. Yeah, I don't know what these are. I don't know what any of these headless are. Didn't fight any inners, and I didn't find owl. So yeah. Man, I need to work on my cardio. Or just work out in general, because I don't. But yeah, that's the tier list for me with these Sekiro bosses. Not the best, if I'm being completely honest. We could have done better, guys, that worked on this game. We could have done better. But when you did do good, you did good. And I'm happy about that. So yeah, that's the video. Have a great day, guys.